this is a published paper. So even though it may seem like, let me just get the link right. This is a published paper in Think, which is a journal run by Cambridge University Press. It's a little bit more popular, but we're going to discuss the metaphysics of farts now. Yeah. Sally says, farts are the but the lonesome cry of an imprisoned turd, golden or otherwise. Wonderfully said, Sally. Wonderfully said. Okay, so let's go read this, and we'll have, it's only, 5 pages, and it's only single column 5 pages, so nice. So, I consider the metaphysics of farts. I contrast the essential bum origin view with a phenomenological view, and I argue in favor of the latter. So we're doing some phenomenology. I love phenomenology. I can't wait. Okay. Lepidamine performed at the Moulin Rouge in the 1890s to the great and good of the day, such as Sigmund Freud, the Prince of Wales, and the King of Belgium. His art was musical farting. He perfected musical farting into an art form. And there are still musical farting performances today. There is an Austrian duet, for example, who dress in formal evening wear with a long coat and tails, but the trousers have a discreet hole through which the instrument can be played. And, to be fair, like we have those wonderful Japanese prints from like a few hundred years ago where the Japanese used to have farting contests. So it's not like this is so uncommon that people have treated farting as maybe not an art form, but something to have competitions with. I mean, this does happen. It is a little bit fun, but like those were famous like woodblock prints or whatever. The hey gas and fart scrolls. Exactly. What happens if you block the arse piece? That's a very good question. The archive link, if I want it, I do want it. Thank you, Vipers. Because this actually makes a very big it's a very big deal for me actually to like when this update command that I do right here, this resets my when I do the review at the end, that resets it so that it gets that, and then I can like auto pull down information from Phil Papers. So like I scrape the site when I do that, and I can get a lot more information. So I appreciate that. So that's why I have to do like the my little bookkeeping in like order. So thank you. Yeah, give some mod love for Vipers. Look at this. The mod's showing out today. Getting a good paper and like helping out. It's amazing. But what exactly is a fart? There are 2 ways of thinking of farts, or 2 concepts of farts. A fart is either a thing or an act. We fart farts. Let's begin with farts considered as things. What are the identity conditions of fart things? Are they proper objects, re-identifiable particulars? Suppose someone emits a series of farts in rapid succession, like a staccato trumpet call. Is that many distinct farts? But in a nearby possible world in which the emission of gas was more legato with no breaks, would there only have been one long fart with pulsations in volume in both senses? Is that legato fart the same fart as a series of staccato farts? Alright, so now we're treating farts as a musical, like, as if it was music. So how do you actually break down? Is it the individual note or is it the entire piece? This is like, questions about what is music at this point. And a lot of times it's how you come at it. Like, are you going to come at the music in terms of like individual notes played, or is it the entire piece as a whole? And so we can do farts because they have this auditory aspect to them. You can treat it like it's music. South Park did this? Interesting. I mean, South Park's very smart. Okay, what about the origins of farts? Once one thinks of farts as objects out there in the world, it is natural to think that they have essential origins in bums. If particular farts have essential origins in particular bums, that partly constitutes them being the very farts that they are. So like your farts are not the same as my farts because your fart came from your bum as opposed to my farts which come from my bum. It follows that something molecularly identical to a fart that does not have a bum origin, such as a gas produced by rotting grass, is not a fart. Molecularly similar gases might differ in that one was a fart and the other not. And 2 molecularly identical farts that have their origins in different bums are not the same fart. Furthermore, this yields a clear view of the relation between the 2 ways of thinking of farts. Farts must be farted. A fart is not a fart if it is not farted. That is, a fart thing must have its origin in a fart act. Yeah, so if the gas is not expelled from a bum, then it is not a fart, it is just some gas. Okay. However, this way of thinking of farts may be questioned. Yeah, the origin of the work of the fart. Yeah, exactly. Is there an essential farmer's fart that is the real fart? And that was painted by one of the great masters of Japanese woodblock prints, Heigassen. However, this way of thinking of farts may be questioned. Suppose that two people fart in a lift and the gaseous molecules mingle perfectly. How many farts are there? On the essential origin view, there are two farts occupying the same space at the same time. However, phenomenologically, which is the perspective of the other passengers in the lift, there seems to be only one fart in the lift, even though it is the product of two bums. The two fart things combined form one terrible compound fart thing. One recalls Aristotle's theories of mixtures. So this is why he wanted to read it, because we were actually getting to Aristotelian metaphysics. Now we understand this was a very sneaky move by Aristotle to get back to Aristotle's theories. Confucius say, man who fart in church sit in his own pew. Okay. But if fart things have essential origins in bums, then there are two things occupying the same space and time, and two such farts cannot fuse to form one super fart. That's the question here. If multiple people are farting, are you getting an admixture, or is it just one fart gas at that point? Especially if no one's nose can actually distinguish the two farts as the individual farts themselves anymore. The lift bystander experience surely deserves our respect as well as our sympathy. Well, this is what's happening. Why are we not discussing the smell? Well, that's where we're getting. That's the phenomenology. We're moving into the smell here. The thing is, now we're getting into the phenomenology of the people who apprehend the farts. That's where we're going. So the author knows. The author knows DCI. All right. It invites a view that is radically... Hey, Haley, thank you for the follow. It invites a view that is radically different from the essential bum origin view. It is a view that farts are phenomenologically constituted. If so, there is after all only one fart in the lift, despite its dual bum origin, in the way that two French perfumes might be mingled to produce a subtle third kind. See, this is where we're going. We're mingling the smells to make a new smell, but it's only one smell out of the two originals. On this view, farts are phenomenal objects in both the senses of phenomenal. That's I'm actually offended here. This was completely unnecessary and actually kind of insulting to the philosophy. It was funny, but they did it at the expense of their metaphysics. And I'm a little insulted that they did this, but they did it it's not a bad joke, but it was a joke at the expense of metaphysics. And I don't expect anyone except for the very navel-gazing philosophers to understand what I just said right there, so I apologize. So we have a conflict between two views of the metaphysics of farts, the essential bum origin view and the phenomenological view. Haley Sin Egenes, Kant's prolegomena to the flatulence said all there is to say about farts. Love the title and topic. Thank you. I mean, you got to remember Aristotle suggested this, so we appreciate it. And welcome in. You can go, he's one of our mods. I suggest you check his content out too if you like this. On the essential bum origin view, we smell farts, whereas on the phenomenological view, we fart smell. Wait? We fart smells. We fart smells. So it's not the fart, but the smell that we are farting. Yeah. So this metaphysical difference implies a difference over the identity conditions of farts and thus over how farts should be counted. Consider again the two people who fart in a lift and the offending molecules that mingle. On an essential bum origin consumption. Oh yeah, and by the way, for anyone who doesn't know who I am, we've had people in. I'm Noger, no gray. What the hell? I don't care. As long as you don't butcher my name terribly. You call me whatever the fuck you want. I read philosophy. We discuss philosophy. We try to, figure out if there's anything worth knowing that people are, they're claiming to write shit and that we should read their shit. And we've tried to figure out what it is. So that's it. We fart smells. Oh my God. Yep. Well, I knew this person was getting there, DCI. I told you to hold on a sec. Yeah. On an essential bum origin conception, the bystanders might think that they smell one fart, but in fact they smell two farts. They are ignorant of an important fact about what they smell. By contrast, on the phenomenological conception, a fart is a smell, and however it came into being, there is just one of those in the lift. The divergence over the metaphysics of farts bears on the question of whether joint smelling is possible. So you gotta realize, we can put this back into musical terms. If you hear two notes, do you hear two notes or do you hear the admixture of two notes when two people are you're playing two different tones at the same time in a music? Do you hear the mix of the tones, what you hear, or do you hear the two tones that you can separate them, or do you just hear the mix? So this is not so far away from questions in aesthetics. Consider again someone a perpetrator who farts in a lift. Everyone else in the lift, the bystanders, can smell the fart. Each of them can smell it, but do they smell it together as a joint act? It might seem so, especially when we consider that they express their disgust to the others in facial expressions, hand-waving movements, and verbal behavior. So it might be said that just as we can walk together or watch something together, so we can smell together, which is what the people in the lift do. But in fact, whether this is so depends on the metaphysics of farts. The conception of farts, according to which they have essential bum origins, allows for joint smelling, since there is a mind-independent thing, the fart, on which our olfactory attention can converge. But on a phenomenological conception, does not allow for that. Yeah, you got to remember, you're not smelling the exact same chemicals as someone else's, so that fart is slightly different. That fart smell is slightly different. On such a conception, smelling could not be a joint activity. There could be no smelling together, although many people might have similar olfactory experiences given a similar stimulus. Visual attention to physical aspects of the world can be joint attention precisely because there's something that is distinct from experience on which two or more people can triangulate. Well, that's not the same. You can't be seeing the same thing as somebody else at the same time because your angles are different angles. You can't be looking at the exact same thing in the same angle because then your heads would have to be in the same spot. You actually can't do that. So this person has just understated their point right here. But you get the point. You can seemingly look at people can look at the same thing and get the same. You're not getting the same light bouncing off. So no, you're not even doing that. But you can kind of look at the same thing, but you're looking at it from different perspectives. You can smell similar farts because you're smelling similar parts of the gas, but they're not exactly the same gas fart. Hallucinogens. It's kind of when two people say they like a food and agree, however, one person enjoys the texture and the other enjoys the flavor, perhaps in this case, smell. Yeah, exactly. You're coming at it from a different perspective. In this case, different parts of the gaseous cloud. Whereas in looking at stuff, you're looking at things from, different perspectives in visual space. So visual space doesn't matter in smell, but you're getting a different chemical admixture in a different location. Okay. So visual attention to physical aspects of the world can be a joint attention precisely because there's something that is distinct from our experience on which two or more people can triangulate. See, I don't know about this triangulate right here, but you get the point. Visual attention to physical features of the world is thus unlike smelling farts if the phenomenological conception is correct. Yeah, see, this fucking annoys me. People do not understand phenomenology. I just pointed out how you can do the same thing with visuals with the parallax. Your two eyes don't see the same fucking thing because you're coming at it from slightly different angles. Phenomenology, people, take it seriously. On that conception, each bystander is cut off from the others suffering bystanders in the lift. There is no joint awareness of an awful presence in the lift. Yeah, because if you smell the entire fart, the other people can't smell what you've smelled because you sucked it into your face. There's a nice example I heard, actually. This one sticks out to me because it was just this idiot that told me this, and it's this great fucking example. Imagine two people you're sitting on the shore. And you there's a lake or an ocean out in front of you, and the sun is setting over there. If I tell you to point to the setting sun, they will point both of them at the sun. If I tell both of them to point at the reflection of the sun on the water, they're going to point to different places on the surfaces of the water. Because if it's bouncing here and then going up to the sun there, they're going to hit different spots on the surfaces of the water. So if you point to the surface of the where the sun is reflecting, two people sitting there, it's not the same reflection. It's clearly different because it's in different space. There's different waves over there, so the reflection is not the same. And like this is a good example to describe how the phenomenology of a reflection of your visual thing, you're not pointing at the same thing. Okay. In order to try to break the standoff between these competing conceptions, let's first consider whether farts can be better or worse than they seem. A powerful intuitive thought we have is that if they smell bad, then they are bad. Perhaps, well, no, if they smell bad, maybe they are even more powerful and then they are good farts. I mean, depends on how you value these things. Perhaps there are some framing phenomena in our sense of smell such that how things smell depend on the surrounding smells or on our beliefs about what we smell. Even so, it seems that there is no phenomenologically independent real smell. Yeah, because it would be mixing with the surrounding air, so there's no essential smell right there. But on the essential bum argument view, whether farts smell bad could come completely apart from whether they are bad, which seems absurd. Surely this is implausible, for there could not be farts that in fact are far better or worse than they smell. On this view, so one might say, is so much hot air. Viper says, the Queen once farted on live TV, but no one laughed. Noble gases are non-reactive. Oh my god, Vipers. I was like, oh, that's an interesting anecdote, and then you came in with the punchline later and knocked me. A second consideration in the favor of phenomenological view is this. You see, this is the problem. I disagree with their arguments here because I think they got the phenomenology wrong. Seinfeld, but yeah, baseline. You know, the Monolith, who is also someone I watch every so often, he has a Seinfeld stuff and Frasier things. Yeah. That on the Confucius joke, you're on fire. Yeah, you've been having a good day today, Vipers. A second consideration in favor of the phenomenological view is this. We all know that there can be silent farts. Farts that are noticeably deadly. Yeah, the silent but deadly farts. Those farts are very real. There's no escaping them since they come without a sonic warning. But can there really be odorless farts? On the essential bum argument view, there could be odorless farts, but this seems absurd. A mere emission of odorless air from a bum is no fart. Is that so? I mean, if you fart really loud, but it doesn't actually stink, you'd still say that was a fart because it had a fart sound at least. And I would count that as fart-like. Such a release of odorless air molecules is surely a fart without a fart. That is, it is a fart act that does not yield a fart thing. Okay, so yeah, but on the essential view, you still need the thing. So that would still fail on the essential view. They're right about that. A fart thing must proceed from a fart act, but a fart act does not necessarily produce a fart thing. Thus, while the opposition between the essential bum origin school and the phenomenological school is something of an antinomy, since there is something to be said for both sides, there are, in fact, at least two considerations that favor the phenomenological school. We are led to an outlook similar to Descartes' view of the mind. On the phenomenological view, the essence of a fart is given to us in our olfactory experience. A fart has no hidden essence over and above or underlying what it smells like. Smelling farts reveals their essences. If so, farts do not have an essential bum origins. Yeah, Valpo, I think that's exactly what the person's saying here is like, you have to be able to smell it. Yeah, this person went like hardcore idealistic, you know, they just turned to Descartes and yeah, we got fart idealism here. I was not expecting this and I think that's exactly right. Like this sort of, when they turned in this fart act requires the fart object, it's really idealistic. So it's a little bit funny as a philosophical move, that is. Okay, yeah, so you need the olfactory experience, but like if you don't have it, then you don't have a fart, but like that's very idealistic. Yeah, Descartes, right here. So we're going to talk about something here with Descartes. A fart has no hidden essence over and above or underlying what it is, what it smells like. God damn it, Aris. They farts. I heard fart ideologues smell bad. Oh God, I stink, therefore I am. Like literally, Valpo, like that nails this paper. I stink, therefore I am. Smelling farts reveal their essences. Like, basically, like, here we go. If so, farts do not have essential bum origins. Farts just are smells. And if that is unintuitive, it is just the price to pay for retaining an intuitive connection between farts and smells. Harris, that's your Wi-Fi password? Yeah, don't tell us. We're going to go sneak to Texas and steal your Wi-Fi. What farts are, in their essence, is unfortunately revealed when we smell them. Smelling a fart is a revelation. A fart or series of farts may be accidentally musical, but they are essentially smelly. Since we grasp the complete essence of farts in smelling them, there can be no empirical science of farts that corrects our grasp of their phenomenological essence. For the unfortunate bystanders in the lift, nothing is hidden. Yeah, so I mean, this person knows that their metaphysics is just so goddamn ridiculous here, but they went for it anyway. This person bit the bullet and went, I stink, therefore I am, on the farts. And like, yeah. And, you know, there's something to be respected right there. They know they're ridiculous, and they just went for the fucking full, I stink, therefore I am. Like, they're just like, smelling farts reveals their essences. This is, what's it called? What's the, perception is the thing. It's the old, Berkeley. This is Berkeley. That's what it is. So they're going for a Berkeleyan metaphysics. Perception is the essence. So, if you smell it, that's how it is. I mean, it's crazy. But they went full Berkeley on this, I think. For those of you guys who care about stuff. But, you know, I can't fault this. This has at least outlined 2 ways of thinking about farts, which are at least somewhat presented in a reasonable way for accessible ways. So like, yeah, in this case, if no one is around to perceive the fart, it's not a fart. No, exactly. They said it's in the smell. And so therefore, if there is no smell, this is if someone farts in the words and no one smells it, it's not a fart anymore. Doesn't the supplier of the fart perceive it, or are they jogging? I mean, you could conceivably walk away from your fart. I mean, they're assuming he who smelt it dealt it, but like if no one smelt it and you didn't, then no one dealt it. Like it's one of these things. DCI, I know, I was thinking the exact same thing, that this deserves a golden turd, but like it's not actually that. You know, this is kind of funny. This is an odd paper because they set out to do something and I think they did it. It's just what they set out to do was ridiculous. They said the rhyme, did the crime. Exactly. Smelt it, dealt it. It has not realized its purpose, therefore it does not exist. Yeah, I mean, but see, it didn't set out to make the philosophy correct. They know it's wrong, but they did it in an interesting way. They are wrong, but for the right reasons. And so it's like, they have my respect. They are wrong for the right reasons, and in some sense, that's better than being right but for the wrong reasons, or not even knowing the difference. And the fact that they know the difference here, and they obviously do, even if they fucked up the phenomenology, which you should not fucking do. People should be better phenomenologists. Like they fucked up this right here where they're saying triangulating, you can look at the same thing at the same time. No, you can't. You can't look at the same thing at the same time, just like I can't smell what you're smelling because what's in your nose is in your nose, just as you're over there looking at something from that angle and I'm over here looking at something from this angle. That's okay. They fuck this up. A lot of people fuck up the phenomenology, which is unfortunate, and that's a bugaboo for me, but like, yeah. If a fart equals more than 0, is it still fart or a shart? Oh, see, that's interesting. Like, if it's not just gas, is there a ratio of gas to particles that make a difference? That's a good question, Halo. I don't know. But they didn't talk about it. Oh God, don't even bring back the taste receptors thing. Okay, yeah, so there was recent research that showed that there are things that are like taste receptors. They are just sensor things in your butt that can tell you basically that your body does. You do not actually taste them though. But yes, there are, you can look this up. There are taste receptor like things in your anus. Congratulations, internet. You win. Sally says, it's satire that can only be done by someone that actually knows the mechanics of philosophy. Exactly. And it's not even, I wouldn't even call this satire. It's not making fun of anything, except for maybe philosophy itself. This is more straight up entertainment for people in philosophy. So it's an exercise in philosophy being fun. It's not satire like directly, but it's more just lighthearted stuff. Farting's like philosophizing. You can't force it or you make a mess. That's very true. Like, if I try to force philosophy, it's just terrible. It's very bad. Aris says, what's interesting here, too, is that fart gas is really mostly gastrointestinal bacteria gas that it gets from metabolizing things, I think. So it's not even somatic cells that make the gas. It's part of the gut microbiome. Yeah, but again, so what? Like, that's okay. What does that actually matter? Like, are you saying that's not really you? That your gut biome? Like, why would you actually make that distinction at that point? So, Halu says, if you fart while going the speed of sound, will you hear it or smell it first? I mean, depends which direction you're facing. If you're facing, if you're going butt first and you're going faster than the speed of sound, could the particles make it to you before the sound waves? Maybe. So, like, I guess it depends on how you are actually going. So if you're like butt first or not butt first. I'm still surprised there are fart bans. I'm not. Like, I know people that I'm not. Viper's got the quote of the day. Yes. Well, Viper's is good at this. What do we got, Viper's here? Let's go take a look. And right after we look at this video or whatever this is on TikTok, we'll come back and we'll do a review. So get your reviews ready. I'll put the stuff up in a sec. Go. Go.
G'day, Dr. Carl here, and what I have here is the world's first fartograph. What's a fartograph, you might ask? Well, it's what you get when you allow fart gas to blow onto a culture plate and you see what sort of bacteria will grow. Now, in the middle, we have big chunky bacteria. That's called the IBZ, the initial blast zone, and they are the kind of bacteria that you find in feces. And on the side, we have the SZ, the splatter zone, and they're skin bacteria. The fart gas has blown across the inner skin of the buttocks and picked up some bacteria and landed them on the culture plate where they grew. This kind of research, oh man, it just blows me away.
Thank you, Vipers. Okay. Is it ethical to fart in a lift? Yeah, because I mean, holding it in might be bad for you, and so it's not worth doing that. Aristotle, I think that would maybe count against essentialist views that don't make that distinctions might go more in the phenomenological view. I don't know what you're talking about, but all right, I'll take your word for it. Oh, Arethius, we've been talking about farts. We are having a great time. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this is, now we get to time to review this. Our review is active. So, this was a fun paper. I think this talked about some fun ideas. So this is getting some brain dances. That's what it's getting from me. Brain dance. It's getting more than one brain dance. Remember, if you, that's not right. Brain dance. If you don't vote golden turd, you don't have a soul. Well, golden turd is actually a negative thing. As you can see on the review, it's like it's all style, no substance. This was all style. It had substance. I think it screwed some stuff up, but like I was saying earlier, it was it was wrong, but for the right reasons. So I'm just gonna get some brain dances, a vote yay, and like this is really it's a poop and a fart. Yeah, you're gonna give it even a nice. I don't know if this counts as slicing and dicing. Did this do anything more than DCI gave it the existential, like, well, you know, to be fair, this is kind of talking about some ethical dilemmas too. They did work in what's going on when you fart in an elevator, so this is kind of fun. So this actually could be a few more than just brain dance. I don't know if it didn't really get there. It did talk some phenomenology. It did. Wow, Vipers is going for the full Ouroboros. It's deep and fun and nasal gazing and poop. And it's a vote yay. Like, yeah. So this is interesting because this will be the most poops with vote yays. This was a get. God damn it, Valpo. So yeah, Metaphysics of Farts by Gil Capra. I like this person. They have a sense of humor. Sally gave it a navel gaze and a, because it is a little bit navel gazy. The people who are reading this really are going to be mostly philosophers, not so many other people. But I mean, this is published in Think, and Think is trying to be a little bit more accessible to, you know, people in general, lay people, non stuff. So, yeah. But everyone get your reviews in. I appreciate everyone doing this. Will be recorded and put up on the site. I am just trying like to think like how to actually get who is going to benefit from this site. Is it just going to go up and be like laughed at or something by people? But like, I want actually people to look at it. So I'm trying to do it. Yeah, the navel gazing because it's an in-joke. The Ouroboros is because it's sniffing itself. Oh, yeah, you're right. It is biting its own butt. Fair. Valpo just missed out on the joke. Vipers beat him to it. He got scooped on the butt sniffing jokes. This is how like research goes. I mean, sometimes you are just scooped of your fart joke is just scooped by other people in the community. It happens.